All right, here we go. Game 4 of the TeamSpeak TL Open number 8 Grand Finals between Kaz and Ciara.
Link engaged.
All right, well, again, cross positions seem to be eluding our players here. I would love it if Ciara said, why no GG? Actually, he did GG on his way out. So Kaz is the bigger man. Ciara is spawning as the yellow Zerg in the 9 o'clock position, and his opponent, Kaz, is the pink Terran in the 12 o'clock position. Again, good position for the Terran, being close for that bio infantry to make it there. Also, kind of eliminates that gold base from the game, because oftentimes you're not going to want to try to fight that, especially Zerg versus Terran, or they can just put a siege tank over right next to it and wreck your day there. So fast expand I expect to see for Ciara, but probably not going to be so hot on that decision once, of course, he sees the positions.
Yeah, and another thing that's in Kaz's favor is look at where Ciara's cliff is at the natural relative to him. It's like just a skip across the pond to drop a Thor up there, or drop Marines up there, or a siege tank up there, and really start sticking it to Ciara. So that's, this guy cannot roll a good map position for his life, it seems today. Really up against the wall. Kaz doing that kind of fancy wall in below the ramp, where it only takes 2 buildings to do that. You can do that if you're trying to be more aggressive and want to fall back easily, or you can do that if you're trying to hide what you're doing inside, as the drone cannot even get in there. As we see, the drone is going to be completely denied here. Going to work on the SCV, getting it down to 25, 20, 15. Oh, Depot goes down. SCV gets taken out. Oh my god, wheels come off for Kaz as he loses the SCV and lets the drone in. Devastating.
Yeah, that was not the awesomest start there for that SCV and the Terran. Drone is going to get in, and now this is what's interesting is, well, okay, the Marine was rallied outside. He's going to have to rally him inside. Drone steals a mineral, and the SCV goes out, pretty much knowing exactly where his opponent is going to be based off of how quickly that drone made it to the base. We do have the hatchery gone down and the spawning pool about 15% done right now on the production tab. Also, orbital command in full effect, and just drones and OVs getting past that initial 18 supply. What do you think? I mean, any thoughts on maybe what Kaz might have in mind here? It does look like Ciara stole that gas yet again, so even if he was trying to hide tech, he does have that extractor, but, well, there goes the factory.
Well, I mean, we don't know what Kaz was thinking before the drone got into his main. When I saw that wall up, I was thinking, the map has 2 obvious choices, which are fast expand, because the natural is really easy to defend and wall up, or do some sort of drop. So siege tank drop, Thor drop, both very nice. Although Zerg players have learned how to react to that. Now we can see he's gotten his gas stolen. He's been fully scouted. I think he's just going over to kind of his standard play. We see his factory going down. So let's see if he makes a starport after this, or if he throws a tech lab on the factory and goes towards Hellions into expand.
Yeah, that was interesting there, because that is going to be a clue here for Ciara. He's like, okay, well, this time he took off SCVs in order to get, basically the DPS versus the building was higher, and so he eventually took it out, meaning that he wanted the gas, and here is why, because the armory is going down, and it looks like we're going to have a Marine Thor push possibly coming out here. He's going to need a tech lab on that factory. He might push with a couple Marines, and this Hellion right now, there is the tech lab for the factory, so we are going to have this Thor rush likely drop. We'll have to see what he does. We have the 1 spine crawler out here, Chill.
Yeah, is this going to be a straight up attack, or no starport on the way for, oh, there's a starport, so it's going to be a drop. Moving in, he sneaks a Hellion behind, actually sneaks some Marines behind, yet again with the drone surrounding. The Hellion without Blue Flame actually not that great in single numbers against drones, but actually the Marines killing a lot of drones. Let's take a look at the income tab and see how much damage he's done. It's 22 harvesters for Kaz against 23 for Ciara. Production tab going to tell the tale of what they're going for now, so we bring that up. And we can see only drones for Ciara. Meanwhile, Thor drop in good effect here as the starport has finished. Going to start a medevac as soon as he gets the 100 gas out of that refinery. We can see the the effect of having his gas stolen has really slowed down this Thor drop.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You know, the medevac, he's also supply blocked himself, so that's going to mean it's going to take even longer for him to get this out. However, just looking at things, the Zerg has prepared for this very nicely. They've put a creep tumor, up there to help with the vision, so you don't necessarily have to have that Overlord. Could to have the Terran, force a scan out of them to get rid of it, but it really helps out when you're doing that now. But instead of roaches, that we see a lot of people defend that with, the Spire has gone down for the Zerg. It's about 70% done right now. So he can move this spine crawler over. There's a lot of different things that he can do. Sometimes I see 2 spine crawlers if they think it's coming. And here comes the Thor medevac drop right now, Chill.
And the other factor that this creep tumor is going to do, usually you bring these SCVs in and you can build turrets up there, which help to deter any mutas which are trying to kind of magic box or spread out against the Thor. But look, completely creep build, can't do that. Production tab shows 3 mutas on the way and a lot of Zerglings, but this is actually going to be close, as the hatchery is probably going to get taken down before you can get the muta numbers to take out this Thor. I feel a little bad for Ciara. He handled this really nicely, but moving in the spine crawler, going to bring the queens in. First queen gets sniped. Second one not going to get targeted as the spine crawler tries to do some work here. Spine crawler getting taken out, and this may actually just end up straight up working.
Yeah, and I think the big mistake here, hold on, let's see how these mutas try to handle this Thor. Of course, you do have the 2 SCVs, 1 SCV down, second one down, but these mutas are taking some damage here. Let's see if we get any heals. I think we had heal on one of them, but again, just with those no muta numbers, it's not going to work. And in terms of not being ready for this, that spine crawler could have been closer to that cliff, and it would have been a lot different. So here we go, as the Thor is starting to be taken down here, but it's going to be a lot of losses for Ciara. That's the 3rd Mutalist to go down. There are 1 more SCV, but it's getting healed up by that medevac, and I mean, unbelievable. Look at how much has been lost here by Ciara.
And now actually bringing in another muta by accident to try to sneak, maybe not by accident, taking out the medevac, but a lot of damage taken there, and Ciara could have also had a Roach Warren ready. He's got a lot of Zerglings here which are doing basically nothing. Reinforcing with roaches as that Thor moved towards the cliff, I feel like that would have been a much safer play, and then transitioned into the mutas afterwards. And look at Kaz, just as happy as can be, taking his natural, putting a bunker down, making a few units. He just has to defend against any sort of counterattack. And continue to put pressure on the Zerg player, and it looks like that's exactly what he's doing. Now bringing the completely healed Thor back to go to work on the hatchery and mutas. Oh my god, this Thor has 15 kills. Captain, I think so. Yeah,
and there's another Thor inside the base. The Zerglings try to come up. 2 Thors inside the base here. And so I completely agree. The mutas came out way early, and the bigger problem, Chill, is that because he has lost so many mutas, he's never going to get that number that's going to make him worthwhile. So I feel like he's just throwing away gas. If he would have had a Roach Warren down, this Thor would have been dead a long time ago, and he might not have even ever lost this hatchery. He's got the vision up there, and that's one of the hardest things to deal with, because if you try to use the Overlords, of course the Thors can take those down. So putting the tumors up there set him up for success, but then he just didn't quite follow through with that. So the muta count now is going to be 3. Okay, we're back. He'll be at 6. But just a handful of Zerglings. Just look at what the Terran has. He could walk in and just win this game right now.
Well, it's also possible that Ciara thought he delayed Kaz quite a bit more. He thought the Thor drop would come out when he had 6 or 7 mutas, but getting tagged by 2 Thors now, a bunch of SCVs there to heal, 2 Marauders, not sure why they're there, but why the hell not. 3rd Thor reinforcing, and there is absolutely nothing Ciara can do to hold this off. He's getting centrifugal hooks, getting a bunch of Zerglings, he's got a few queens, but this is largely going to be it, I think. It's going to take magic.
Yeah, I think this is pretty much game over, Chill, as we see that hatch go down for a second time. Hurglings come out, he's like, do a lot of damage. No, they don't do anything. And although he's moved everything into his main base, he has gone ahead and lost that expansion. Here come the Banelings now. They're going to try to make their way through there. Now come the Mutas, but again, there's just so many Thors. He does take out the SCVs that were healing up. The Queen's trying to heal as best as they can. They've done some damage versus the Thors, but what now? Again, Roaches probably would have been a phenomenal choice in this situation. He spent so much getting those Mutas out that did not do a whole lot, and now these Thors are just going to kind of clean up. The Baneling nest is going to go down from lack of creep eventually, and there it is. No even GG. +1 air attack was still was still researching there, so he was just not in a great position unit composition wise. So congratulations to Empire Kaz for being the TeamSpeak TL Open number 8 champion. He went through his own teammate Empire Naniwa. He took out Strelok, he took out Slider, and took first place. Very, very nicely done. You know, again, this guy Chill has won a lot of Go for SC2 competition, Zotek Cup. So people always say, you know, gosh, you could be playing those all the time. And look what happens when you do.
Yeah, exactly. Now we're going to see him, you know, into the round of 32 of the actual Team Liquid Star League Season 3, sponsored by PokerStrategy.com. And we're going to see him play against, you know, the toppest quality of players that imaginable that qualify for that tournament from both North America, Korea, and Europe. So it basically becoming a global tournament, and this is just a stepping stone. You know, you put in your time, you play those smaller tournaments, you grind through you spend the entire day grinding through a 10-round tournament, and look what happens. So I'm excited to see who can follow in his footsteps in these upcoming TL Opens.